It all started on an ordinary Tuesday morning, in a small, quiet town where nothing very exciting ever happened. 9-year-old Lila Bloom was sitting at the breakfast table, lazily poking her spoon into her soggy cereal. She had just reached the bottom of the box of super sugar swirls, when something hard and round clinked into her bowl. "Huh," she said, fishing it out. It was a seed. But not just any seed, it sparkled faintly, like it had been dipped in glitter. Attached to it was a tiny note that read, "Plant me before sunset. Something sweet will grow." Lila's eyes widened. She loved mysteries, and she especially loved sweet things. After breakfast, she grabbed a flower pot, filled it with soil from the garden, and carefully planted the glittering seed. Then she placed it on her windowsill, right where the sunset would shine on it. And then she waited. That night, she dreamed of a tree made entirely of ice cream, vanilla branches, chocolate leaves, and strawberry blossoms. When she woke up, she thought it was just a dream, until she opened her curtains and gasped, the seed had sprouted overnight. In fact, it hadn't just sprouted, it had exploded into a full-grown tree, right in her backyard. Its bark was waffle cone, its leaves were sprinkles, and hanging from its branches were scoops of ice cream in every flavor imaginable. "No way!" Lila shouted, running outside in her pajamas. She picked a scoop that looked like mint chocolate chip and took a tiny lick. Instantly, a cool breeze whooshed around her, and then, zoom, she was running as fast as a cheetah around the backyard, wind rushing past her face. "I have super speed," she cried, giggling as she zipped around in circles. The magic wore off after 10 minutes, just as she crashed into the garden hose. But Lila was already dreaming of her next scoop. That entire day, Lila tried a new flavor every hour. Strawberry swirl gave her the power to float like a balloon. Chocolate fudge let her understand what birds were saying. Bubblegum blast made her invisible, but only when she hiccuped. Blueberry thunder gave her a voice that made plants grow faster. Each scoop had a magical effect that lasted exactly 10 minutes. Lila kept a notebook, writing down every flavor and what it did. But word travels fast, especially when you have a little brother named Toby who couldn't keep a secret if you paid him in jelly beans. The very next day, Lila heard a knock on the door. It was Ms. Morgana, the mysterious lady who lived at the edge of town in a crooked house with 17 cats and an unusual fondness for capes. "I heard," she said slowly, "that you have a very interesting tree in your backyard." Lila hesitated. Maybe. "I'll make you a deal," Ms. Morgana said, smoothing down her black velvet gloves. "Give me 1 scoop of that magical ice cream, and I'll give you a whole jar of moonberries and a spell to make your homework do itself." Lila blinked. "Homework? Does itself?" "Every last math problem," Morgana purred. Lila thought about it. "I think I'll pass." Ms. Morgana narrowed her eyes. "Fine. But don't say I didn't offer." That night, Lila stood guard by the window, just in case. Sure enough, just after midnight, she saw a shadow sneak into her yard. It was Ms. Morgana. With a very large spoon, Lila ran outside, armed with a flashlight and a garden hose. "Step away from the tree, Ms. Morgana," she shouted, but Morgana had already scooped a glowing ball of lemon sherbet, and with one lick, poof, she vanished into a swirl of yellow smoke. "Oh no," Lila whispered. Suddenly, all the scoops began to melt, dripping down like a rainbow waterfall. The sprinkles turned gray. The waffle bark cracked. "No. The magic!" Lila cried. She ran to the base of the tree and placed both hands on the trunk. "Please don't go," she whispered. "You're the best thing that's ever happened to this boring town." The tree gave one last shiver and went still. Tears welled in Lila's eyes, but just then, pop, one tiny bud appeared on a branch, followed by another. The tree wasn't dying. She invited her best friends to taste the magic, shared the power, and even gave her little brother a scoop now and then, after he promised to stop telling everyone. Lila's backyard became the most magical place in town. Not because of the powers, but because of the joy, the laughter, and the shared wonder of something truly sweet. And every now and then, Lila would find another glittering seed in her cereal box, and smile, because some magic likes to grow.